Next for the Hawks, they go to New Jersey to play the Devils, who after making the playoffs last season, they've really struggled this year. Now this is a very winnable game for the Hawks. They could do well in this game. They can grab 2 points. Well, apparently not.
Sucker blue. I don't want to overreact.
What was that?
This is going to be a good game.
Not too shabby. The best game ever. Hello, welcome to Hawks Recap Game. Who cares? Game 48, I care. Deep down, I care. Hawks just finished the 48th game of the season, and they get curb stomped by the New Jersey Devils 8-5. Now, I know what you're thinking if you did not watch this game. 8-5 doesn't really sound like a curb stomp, and let me tell you what. The final score was not indicative of how this game actually was. If you watched some football over the weekend, you maybe watched the Patriots-Chargers game. You know how the Patriots pretty much dominated that game, and then the final score looked a lot closer than the game really was. Pretty much the same story here in this game. Devils absolutely dominated the Hawks for pretty much the entire game. Hawks found some fluky random goals to somehow make it a 3-goal game. But yeah, this was not a close game. Cam Ward getting the start in net for the Hawks in this one, and I'm pretty sure he wishes he didn't because he played pretty bad. But in his defense, there was no defense in front of him. The Hawks just simply did not show up for the first 40 minutes of this game, which is coincidentally the exact same amount of time that Cam Ward actually played in this one. The Hawks would have 2 power plays in that first period, and although the power play has gotten better over the last couple weeks, really struggled here. Now, the Devils have a really good PK unit, but I didn't really see anything from the Devils to suggest that they were the ones making the Hawks struggle on these 2 power plays. It looked like the Hawks just were failing to execute. Like they were just biting themselves in the foot. Nothing was clean because they had space. They had space. They were circling. They were maneuvering, but they just didn't do anything. It was bad. And then, of course, it got worse. Cahoon would try to pass the puck back to Keith, but he makes a bad pass. The puck gets by Keith and, of course, hits Coleman right in stride coming out of the penalty box, and he has a breakaway. He puts a nice move on Ward, gets it by him, and it's 1-0 Devils, and that's how this game would go into the second period. And let me tell you about the second period. Seriously, if there was one word to describe the second period, it would be that. It was dumb. Patrick Kane would score a power play goal 3 minutes into the second period to tie this game up at 1. It looked like, okay, the Hawks, they're going to be fine in this game. Well, then the Devils scored 5 straight goals after that. And with 2 minutes left to go in the second period, the Devils were up 6-1. That score right there, 6-1, that would be an accurate representation of this game. That would be it. 5-goal game. 8-5. Sounds a lot closer than it really was. 6-1, that's about right. Of course, Patrick Kane would score, and then 42 seconds later, passes to Seabrook, getting an assist as he would score his 100th career goal, which is a very nice milestone, but that makes it 6-3 going into the third, and that's just the kind of false hope we needed. The Devils would score 8 minutes into the third to make it 7-3. Then Cahoon would score 30 seconds after that to make it 7-4. Then Brandon Saad would score with about a minute and a half left in the game before Coleman would get the empty netter to make this an 8-5 game and finally end it an hour and a half later than it really should have. Seriously, 8 goals in the second period. That was by far the dumbest period of hockey I've ever seen. Now, this was the first action we saw from Cuckoo in a Blackhawks sweater, and although I want to assess him, I kind of don't, because pretty much everyone not named Kane in this game played pretty poorly for the Hawks. And although the Hawks for the last month here have been making strides, they've gotten better, there's been positives, defense has gotten better, offense has gotten better, penalty kill, power play, special teams have gotten better. They haven't won every game, obviously, but there's been positives. There's been steps forward. This game was a step backwards. This was a monumental step backwards. This was a step backwards all the way to the November, early December type of games. This was a bad game. And so, with that said, I'm going to push off judging and assessing Cuckoo until a later time. On the bright side, we did see Kajula wreak some havoc with his fists. That was kind of fun, but also didn't really make up for the rest of this crap game. Now, like I said, Patrick Kane, probably the only Blackhawk that played decently in this game. He had 4 points, a couple goals, had nearly 29 minutes of ice time. That's insane. Probably helped that the Hawks were just playing catch-up the entire game, and also the fact that they have 2 days off after this probably helped in the decision to just keep throwing them over the boards. But hopefully that's not the norm, because that is insane ice time for a forward. So as I mentioned, Hawks have 2 days off before traveling to historic Madison Square Garden to face the New York Rangers. And, well, the Hawks just need to flush this one down the toilet. Don't even watch the game footage. Seriously, if the Hawks just show up in New York, that'll be miles better than what happened tonight. And with that said, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And for all of you who like, share, and subscribe, well, that's what I appreciate about you. But most importantly, as always, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.